All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So I don't know what's going on. Um, I just put like one and two and three together right now. The chat is not populating into Restream. One of my clients earlier had that happen, and I thought it was because she had brought Zoom in. But then another friend of mine went live earlier, and her chat was not populating. So I'm going to be keeping an eye. It's chat. It's populating for Lauren. That's great. Um, it's so weird. All right. I'm fixing to leave for a minute. Y'all don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm going to refresh my page. Okay. It's still not doing it. So weird. Boy, that's aggravating. All right. So anyway, I don't know why it's doing it. It's doing it on Lauren's side though, with her chat's populating. So anyway, technical difficulties aside, thank y'all so much for being here. My name's Chris, and this is So I Did a Thing. Um, that's so weird. That's aggravating. Um, so Lauren is a repeat guest. She was with me like back in November, I think, maybe. She's my business coach. I'll eventually get to where I'm going to hire her one-on-one. I went through her new business boot camp that was just absolutely mind-blowing. I learned things about running a business that I had no idea that I even needed to know. Super, super, super helpful and just helping me to make smart decisions with my money, how to allocate it, how to separate it, um, all the things. And she's doing a masterclass coming up. And when she reached out and asked to come on the show, it was a no-brainer to get her on here. So I'm going to bring Lauren Rilling out.
Hey, Chris. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you for doing this. I'm really happy to be here and to get to talk with you. And
yeah, I am too. It's been a while since we've talked.
I know it's been too long. I'm just happy we could catch up a little. And I can actually see the chat. So maybe you could give me a tip on I'm not good at multitasking though. So if you're someone who does live streams, what advice do you have for all of us in trying to have a conversation, but then also include the audience and engage the audience and not ignore people who are saying hello?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
So I usually do it because the comments are supposed to be populating right here so I can keep an eye on them. I do have LinkedIn pulled up over here so I can see if anybody's commenting on my side.
Okay.
But usually, like whenever you're paired, your comments will populate on my side too.
Mm-hmm.
So can you
I
see all the
I can see.
comments?
So hi, Rob, Robin, Lisa Marie, Leslie, Robert, a LinkedIn user whose name isn't populating, Marissa, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling down. Robert Barry, another LinkedIn user. Yeah, people are here. So people are
Yeah.
saying hi.
Yeah, Marissa, you're absolutely right. Hire a virtual producer.
Yep.
But in the event that the virtual producer's restream is not working, then what do you do?
I hope I'm not bad luck, Chris. It's like
No,
every
no,
time I
this
go on your
happened.
show, something goes
I
wrong.
know it. So last time she was on,
It's me.
yeah, last time she was on, some of y'all have seen the clip I've posted a couple times of me just absolutely my mind going blank for a solid minute. Couldn't talk, couldn't string, couldn't even come up with a sentence to say. And I post that just to show that even the people that do this all the time make mistakes and stuff happens and it's all good. Lauren was my guest on that one. So when she asked me to come back on, I was like, redemption time, baby. I can do this.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Robert,
Yeah.
you're too kind. It's not you, Lauren. It's Restream. I don't know.
Yeah.
My track record. I mean, Chris can attest to this. My track record with technology is abysmal. I'm good with the business finances, but technology, we don't get along. I just do my best. I'm
Yeah.
just thankful when it works. So anyway, but yeah,
Anyway,
it's all
yeah.
good. As long as Restream's working, it's fine.
Yeah. It's sort of working. It's half working.
Yeah.
I wish I could make you an admin on the fly where you could do the comments, but then you might get distracted. If you said
This
you
is
get
true.
distracted really
I
easy.
would, yes, I would get distracted.
Okay. So tell us about the masterclass. Like you reached out to
Okay.
me a few weeks ago and was like, hey, we're going to do this.
Mhm.
First of all, it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Mm-hmm.
for everyone, not just me because we're friends. It's free for
Not just
everyone.
you because we're friends,
Yeah.
but it's free for you too, Chris. I won't charge you just
Okay.
because we're friends.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Um, yeah, no, it's free and it's a live webinar, a masterclass, whatever. It's virtual. And yeah, the reason behind it was that there's just so many changes, rapid changes with the economy in 2023. You know this unless you live under a rock, right? Like we all feel the changes. An executive from Ford referred to the economy as murky. Murky is bad. It's bad if you're scuba diving. It's bad if you're a business owner and you're trying to see a clear path forward,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Murky is not a good word. Jeb Blunt, who is the CEO of Sales Gravy, and he's like this big, sales guy if you've heard of him before, but he wrote a LinkedIn post today that said, with the current economy, negotiation is back in vogue. So if you're a salesperson, aka if you're a small business owner and you are responsible for bringing sales into your business, it's harder than it was
Hmm.
even 6 months ago.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of reasons for that we could get into, but everyone feels that it is generally tougher to be a business owner than it has been in the last couple of years, the COVID
Hmm.
thing notwithstanding. But for a lot of people with online businesses, business has been really great, really prosperous and profitable for the last few years. And whoa, why aren't people repeat buying? Why are people saying my prices are too high? Why is my client list slowing down? What was working in the last couple years isn't working anymore. What's happening? The message really used to be just keep raising your prices and people will pay for it. And that's not a given anymore. Like
Right.
it's all about finding ways to meet your customers' current needs, which it should always be, but you can't take it for granted. Like you have to dive into what are their needs right now and how can I serve them right now? And how can I create even more value for them right now? That's the
Hmm.
conversation that I'm having with clients and friends and colleagues across all industries. So I think that's like the general economic environment that we need to be able to navigate. And
Hmm.
we have to be able to do that from a financial standpoint. Your business finances have so much valuable information and insight to offer.
Hmm.
And if you try to develop a business strategy without the financial strategy component, you don't have a real strategy. You have a strategy that is it's like riding a bicycle and you're missing a wheel or something like that. So,
Right. Right.
so that's really why I decided to offer this master class because I wanted to talk about stuff that's relevant right now. And that is going to be really actionable for any entrepreneur to make positive changes so that they can see their financial strategy with greater insight and have a better strategy going forward so that they can be profitable and do really well this year instead of struggling through it.
Right on. Um, we were talking backstage about systems.
Hmm.
Why do you need systems?
I mean, that's a good question. Like, we hear all the time, you need to systemize this, you need to systemize that. Well, we usually hear that from people who are trying to sell a particular system.
Right.
Right? I mean, seriously.
Right.
And usually it's not even always a system. It's sometimes just someone's tactic and follow my steps and just copy and paste what I did. But really in a business, like you can't just copy and paste something. You need to be able to adapt. A good system will be adaptable to work for your specific business. And
Hmm.
the thing about systems is that systems take time and effort to implement. Sometimes they take money to implement. And so, creating systems, implementing systems, those are good. A good process document. I totally agree with you, Marissa. Um, and so I'm all for systems as long as it's a real system and not just a tactic that is going to be misapplied in your business and then it's just a waste of time. But But the question that we're really asking ourselves is, how do we know that this system, if I invest time and effort, because it's a pain in the butt to implement a new system, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that deep work that just you have to dedicate time to it. And what is going to be the result of that? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
has to either make me more money, free up more time to make more money, or it has to improve my life in a pretty significant way for it
Mm-hmm.
to be willing to implement. And so there's going to be different systems that are appropriate at different levels of your business development. It's not just a cookie cutter thing to develop a system. Yes, Henry Ford's system, the assembly line process, yes, and that's perfect for Ford. If you took that and tried to apply that assembly line system to a totally different industry, then it wouldn't work. So you have to find, like,
Right.
what are the common things about those systems? And then how do I make it work for my business? And what are the outcomes that I'm trying to achieve?
Yeah.
Exactly, Brian. It has to lead to your desired outcomes. So you got to be clear on what those desired outcomes are, and then work backwards from there to figure out what are the most meaningful steps I can take to achieve those desired outcomes. Like, as
Yeah.
simple as it sounds, I think it's just so easy to get bogged down by all of these different people shouting in our ears, telling us, you need this marketing system, you need to be on this social media platform, you need um, to follow my 5 steps, your high ticket offer is stupid and you should offer everything for $27, or your low
Right.
ticket stuff isn't scalable and you need to be selling 6-figure like no.
It's so overwhelming, man. And
Yes.
I get on calls with people all the time, even just coffee chats, and they, we get to talking about business, and they dig into what I do, and, well, have you thought about doing this? Well, I don't think. Have you thought about, is that really feasible? And it's like
Mhm.
everywhere you turn, everybody has their own stinking opinion about the way things should be.
Yeah. Yeah,
So how do you
exactly.
figure out where your road is?
Exactly. And that's where financial clarity is so important. Like, the light bulb just comes on when you have that financial clarity in your business. So my whole thing is, and this is why I realize I'm kind of going on and on about this. Like,
No, no,
it's
go ahead. That's why
I
we're
I
here.
want to teach the timeless principles that can be applied in any business, that are not
Mhm.
going to be overwhelming and expensive or really arduous or time consuming to implement, but are going to be the things that are really doable, really manageable, and create the most impact for your business.
Mhm.
So for me, it's things like, do you know how much cash your business needs to operate for the next 6 weeks?
Mhm.
When you know that, you see your business from a completely different lens. Oh, I can actually pay myself this much. Oh, I can actually give myself a raise. Oh, I can afford to make that, my first hire or my next hire. Or, ooh, I'm going to hold off on that. And I'm going to really focus on, sales within my current pipeline. And I'm going to make that my focus, and I'm going to sort of reevaluate, right? Knowing your cash flow needs, and being able to see a little bit down the road with financial clarity gives you so much information that you need to make great decisions for your business.
Mhm.
So the answers aren't going to be the same for everyone, but having a financial management system that gives you those insights will reveal what
Right.
those answers are for you as a
Right.
unique individual business owner.
Right.
And these are things that are not complicated. I think that the word simple is a really popular word in the world of business, um, and yet in the sector of finance, as a whole, we are woefully behind the trend of simplicity, right? And
Mhm.
I think that's why so many people hate to deal with their business finances. They think, I don't have time to deal with this
Mhm.
because it's so complicated. I don't know what to do. I feel overwhelmed. And it doesn't have to be that way, right? It doesn't
Right.
have to be that way at all. It's like, you can implement some really simple, easy to do positive changes that give you a way to manage your finances and see your business with that financial clarity that you need to navigate these decisions. And it doesn't have to be this huge thing. It doesn't have to be a project that takes up the next 3 months of your life.
Right.
Um, so I really want to give people those tools that they can implement and get those quick wins, so that they can start to get that momentum that they need.
Yeah, I love it. And I like what you said. Like, it's not, you're implementing processes and systems and all that, but it's not specific to something you're trying to sell. It's sound financial principles that are going to hold true no matter what industry you're in, whatever you're
Mhm.
doing. You do this outcome will happen
Yeah.
no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing.
Mhm.
The numbers are going to look different, and there may be a little bit of tweaking for each individual person, but the principles are exactly the same.
Right, right, and we
And it's
talked
built
about
on
this, like,
principles, not a process you're selling.
yes,
I
and the
like that.
principles, and then there's principles, but then there's also linking that principle to what does that look like in practical application.
Right.
And so I think being able to bridge that gap is also really important, not only so that it's not abstract. So we don't want to be abstract, we want to be practical. Like when I teach this masterclass, I really want people to be able to take away things that they can go, great, I have like one or two things that I'm going to do differently in my business from now on. And it's going to
Mm-hmm.
make me more money, and it's going to give me more peace of mind, and it's going to
Mm-hmm.
help give me more clarity and more confidence in the decisions that I'm making as a business owner.
Nice. I love it. Um, so you mentioned also like financial health, and what are we
Mhm.
focused on for 2023 to make it great? So talk to us about, like, describe financial health for us.
Mhm. Yeah, because that's like a pretty big word, right? Like
Right.
what
Like,
does
what does that
financial
even
health
mean?
mean?
Yeah.
So that's a really good question. So I think of financial health, um, very similarly to how we would think of physical health. Like when you go to the doctor, if you've ever gotten blood work done, you get a CBC, a complete blood count. If you've ever been to the ER, oh, I've got an embarrassing ER story. I'm like, I don't need to be here. Anyway, it was the whole thing. And I was fine, but they're like, I got the red carpet treatment, right? Like they're like, we are getting you back to a room, you're getting an EKG, we're taking a blood panel, like all this stuff. I learned more than I ever want to about blood tests. So but you get this blood test back, and like they have all of these different numbers, and you have to like Google them for them to make sense. Like, what does that mean? What
Right.
is that
Right.
normal? Like, what is that?
Right.
Like, what is that? Right. And really, like your different financial metrics that are on your profit loss statement and your balance sheet and your statement of cash flows, those are like those are like the numbers on a CBC, and they kind of have to be translated. It's like, what does this mean? Well, in this context, this is what it means. Is this a little low? Is this a little high? How can we get to more optimal health? So it's really about what the numbers represent than the numbers themselves. Um, and so it's being able to recognize what those numbers are and what they mean, and then going, okay, this is things like how much cash do you need in your business, right? We talked about having knowing how much cash your business needs to operate for the next 6 weeks, but like how much cash do you have at any one time in your business? How much would you need to have an emergency fund of 3 months of operating expenses plus owner pay? How much do you need to be setting aside for your taxes every month, so that taxes are like this non-event every year?
Mm-hmm.
I always say that tax season is for accountants, not for business owners. The only
Yeah.
seasons that we ought to be participating in are winter, spring, summer, and fall, and probably not even winter. So, like, tax season shouldn't even be a thing. It should
Right.
just be like, here are my documents, tax preparer. Like, I've already paid my taxes. It's all good to go. Like, no worries. Do you have a target for your profit for retained earnings? Because that's what you use to invest back into your business. That's what you use to build a cash reserve. You have so many more options and choices, and so much more flexibility to grow and adapt when you have retained earnings, but we have to know what those goals are and how much you need to target to have.
Mm-hmm.
Same with owner pay. How much are you paying yourself? How much do you want to pay yourself? So we set these goals. We look at what the numbers are saying, and then we set these goals, and we work to make small changes over time to reach those targets. So
Yeah.
financial health, the exact numbers are going to look different for everyone, but I would say, those are the key indicators of financial health. Are you paying yourself what you want to be making? Are you able to take care of your taxes in a way that's not stressing you out? And the money's always there to make sure your taxes are covered. Do you have enough in cash reserves to cover revenue shortfalls or an emergency or something? Like, I had a client who is a solopreneur, and she got food poisoning and was out for 2 weeks. But because she had built up the cash reserves, it didn't affect her at all. Her business operations continued. She was able to continue paying herself, and life went on. So those are all the signs of financial health that we want to work to achieve.
Yeah. And I know I said it earlier, but I want to go back to it. It just
Mhm.
because it's not processes you're selling, it's just principles
Yeah.
that are going to make the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's principles. And then again, how do we apply those principles in really simple and practical ways? So, like, one of the things that I really like to do, I'm a really big profit first fan. I have my book here.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys haven't read this book, this is a great book. I think I might have shared this the last time I was on, but it's one of my like top 5 favorite business books. And this has a system for managing your cash flow. So, like, basically, you open up 5 bank accounts, 5 business checking accounts, right? This is an example of investing some time into implementing a system. It'll probably take 2 or 3 hours. It's a little bit of a project, right, to open up those bank accounts. But then when you know what your targets are for owner pay, taxes, your profit and your operating expenses, you can take all that revenue in one account, and twice a month just transfer the appropriate amounts to your other accounts. And that's a really great way to see how you're doing, keep yourself on track, know if you're going in the right direction without having to do an analysis of all your financial reports, which that's a good, important thing to do from time to time. But when you just need a quick pulse check on your business finances and you just want to keep them organized, that's a great way to manage your cash flow.
Yeah.
So that would be
And
like an example of a system that, is adaptable for any business owner and will really help you, achieve financial health.
Yeah, and that is something I still have not done from the new business boot camp in November.
Chris.
I know, but like you said, it's going to be a process.
Yes.
And so I've got to take off work to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know. It's just a pain in the butt to have to take off work to go do it.
I know.
But I know I need to do it.
It's one of those things, it's worth it though. Because I've had clients who have done it right away. Like, we all have things that we're like, we get to it right away. We don't procrastinate, like done. And then it's like, yes, I can enjoy the benefits of this now. And so I have clients who like get on the ball and like get it done immediately. And then I've also had clients who are like, okay, I have these things going on. And I'm like, that's fine. It's everyone is different. We all have things going on in our lives. Like, I have 3 kids. Life is chaotic. Like, there's grace. It's not like you have to do everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
But once they actually get around to getting it done, they're like, oh, I can see my business finances with so much more clarity now. Even if we're talking about those numbers, even if we have it on a spreadsheet, there really is something about having the actual separation with the bank accounts that is so eye-opening. And I think part of it is that it really holds you accountable, because if you're physically moving the money into your operating expense account, you're like, this is the amount of money that I have to spend on expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, and I think that's the other thing that's important to know, right? Is what's worth my time and what's not.
Right.
Because you can't do everything all at once.
Yeah. And one thing I want to touch on, just so in those 5 business accounts that you make, only one of them has a debit card, and that's your operating expense account. None of the other ones have a debit card, so you can spend out of it.
Right.
Like, I get it. I see the need for it. I just have not gone and done it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it forces you to make sure that you have enough money in that account before you just go spend money. And
Right.
if you are going to spend more than what you have set as your budgeted amount,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go through that process of making that choice and moving money from your profit account away from your profit account and see that balance go down, or out of
Mm-hmm.
owner pay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if any of my clients ever move money out of taxes, like, oh my gosh, like, you do not want the IRS coming after you, like, don't do
Right.
that. So it helps you to stay accountable to your choices, right? And just,
Mm-hmm.
and not in like a bad way of like, shame on you, you like didn't stick to it. It's just, you have that level of awareness and you have to be hyper intentional about your decisions.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And just to kind of like, I'm glad I haven't done it yet because I came across some really, 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 really good deals on some equipment I needed for my home office.
Hmm.
Like saved over $1,000 on what I was going to need.
Nice.
Yes. If I'd have had that money split up though, and I'd have been looking at it drop down,
Hmm.
I need it, but I don't know if I'd have been as inclined to spend it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
So, I
I had
mean,
that conflict in my head of, oh my God, I need this, and I'm going to save
hmm,
literally thousands of dollars on it.
hmm.
But then I'm going to be watching this bank account go down too.
Well,
So it
so
will
I
keep you from, like you said, it'll keep you from all the frivolous stuff, though.
from all the frivolous stuff. But I mean, that's where these strategic conversations come into play, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you have the profit to do it, then you just talk about benefits and drawbacks of that decision.
Mm-hmm.
And is this a need now? Could it wait? Okay. If not, what's, and it's also okay, especially like when you're starting your business, there's nothing wrong with making a personal investment, with saying, I'm choosing to invest money into my company in some way, and it's going
Mm-hmm.
to be better in the long run, right? And even to use your cash flow forecast to say, all right, if I spend this money now, how quickly am I going to recover it? Or am I going to see an ROI on it where, yeah, I might not see my profit account grow as quickly, but I might also be okay with that.
Right. Exactly. I get that.
So,
You're right.
so it's more of a decision making tool than it is about creating rigid rules.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Does anyone have any questions before we keep going? Um, y'all got real quiet on me real quick. Y'all quit commenting. Y'all don't do that. Y'all know that makes me nervous. Um,
Leslie says
so
never winter. I totally
yeah,
agree.
never winter. Yeah, I know. It's from somebody who lives in Colorado.
I
That's
know.
probably why you want it to be never winter, is because it's always winter there.
I go through this every January and February. I mean, it's just part
Yeah.
of the deal.
But y'all
And
started getting
I'm
snow
from
in like
LA. Huh?
oh, that's what it is. That's
No,
right.
I'm
I
not
forgot
from
about that.
Colorado. I've lived here a decade, but I'm from LA. I think,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah. No, exactly. And y'all start getting snow there in like October.
Yeah, we don't get like a ton of snow in October. Sometimes we get a little bit of snow in October. I think we actually got a weird snowstorm this year, and we've had two cold freezes I mean, that one that like hit the whole country, right? There was that
Mm-hmm.
one, and then we got another one where it was like negative temperatures, and we don't usually get negative temperatures. Like, Denver is not like the north. It usually everything melts, and we have
Mm-hmm.
a few sunny days, and so our winters are milder compared to like Minnesota, for example.
Right.
Um, but I'm not very cold hardy. So yeah,
You had said something earlier too about what are we focused on for 2023 to make it a
yeah,
great year.
yeah, yeah.
And that's going to be kind of the theme of the masterclass. Is that right?
Yeah, to make 2023 a year where you thrive financially. Like, what are those 5 key things that you need in your business finances um to do that? So we're talking about systems, but we're talking about not like these big systems that are hard to implement,
Mm-hmm.
or only applicable to certain businesses, but are truly things that you can start to use in your business right away. They're going to give you a lot more clarity and help you strategize and find areas of profit that you might have been missing out on before. Because
Right.
profit is not how much you earn, it's how much you keep. And so if that is not already optimized in your business, if you don't already have a strategy to make sure that you're keeping the maximum amount of profit that you can, then you are definitely missing out on hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in profit that you're already earning every month, but you're just not keeping for whatever reason. So I want to make sure that you're keeping more and not only working to earn more, but that the things that you're doing to earn more money are going to be well aligned with the things that you're doing to manage and maintain that profit.
Yep. Got it. All right,
Yeah.
y'all. I've dropped the link a few times. It doesn't show up in the chat as a link, so you've got to copy and paste that. I don't know why LinkedIn does that, but copy and paste that if you want to sign. When is it? We haven't even talked about when it is.
Oh, it's February 28th. So you have some time. No, 23rd. I'm sorry. Oh, that would be bad if I told you the 28th. February 23rd. And I'm trying to remember what time it's at. It says on the registration link.
Okay.
It's during the middle of the day. And if you can't make it for the live class, but you still want the recording of it, register, because people who register will get the recording as well.
Okay,
but if you can show up live, obviously, the interaction and everything is awesome. So if you can show up live, that's great. If you can't, if you look at it and go, I don't know if I can make that time, register anyway, and I'll send you the recording.
Nice. So it is at 2 Eastern, which would be 1 Central, 12 Mountain,
yes.
and 11
Pacific.
Pacific. Thank you. Yeah.
So right around the lunchtime hour-ish.
Right around the lunchtime hour-ish. Yep. And it is on the 23rd. I had to go look at the email.
It is on the 23rd.
Cool. So we talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but what really prompted this? Was it just a way to just give back and just throw a bone at people to say, look, here's some great principles for you to live by?
Yeah, it was really a response to just seeing the same conversations happen over and over with business owners who were thriving, who are doing really well, but they're noticing, whoa, I'm not getting this. I feel like I'm losing momentum, or that client didn't renew with me, or I raised my price and they didn't respond well to that, or my clients are telling me that they need something different. What do I do? Do I shift? Do I double down and find new clients? Do I create a new lower priced offer? All of these things. And so it's to address what's really happening in the economy and how to navigate that in a way that's going to be profitable and give you the tools that you need to make those decisions to be able to navigate this economic climate. And then but it's not just a flash in the pan trendy thing. It's these are things that are going to help guide you and have that financial clarity and strategy to grow profitably, no matter what the economic climate is. So it's just because it's raining doesn't mean we don't go in our cars and drive, right?
Right.
You might need to be aware of okay, the roads are a little more slick, so here's what we're going to do differently. But it's not we're just going to stay home and hope that the rain stops, right?
Right.
So that was the impetus for it. And I'll also share some information at the end about the course that I'm offering on business finance, and we'll obviously get a deeper dive with the course. But my goal for the masterclass is just to help people feel confident and to give them some tools to see their finances with more clarity, so that they can really find that profit and have those actionable steps that they can implement and get some quick wins.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
It got busy at your house.
Oh, can you hear? Yeah. It's time everyone's getting ready for bed. It's the chaotic time. If you have kids,
Right.
So,
Julie Griffin was on with me last night whenever I was
mhm,
doing a live training. I did a live training for my boot camp last night.
mhm.
Live on LinkedIn. It was really cool. I broke my computer almost. Like I had it doing all kinds of stuff, but her kids were in the background doing the same thing and they were
Yeah,
poking
it
their
is.
head in, photo bombing.
It's the witching hour, you guys. It's 6:30
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. It's that time that's like
Comment if
dinner
I'm not
time.
alone.
Yeah. For real.
So,
Um, what else? Does anybody have any questions? Nobody's asked any questions that I've seen come through.
I know it's hard. Well, it's hard to think of questions when you're talking about your finances, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one thing when you run across something, but I know it's hard to come up with questions like on the spot. So
Right.
if you think of
Exactly.
questions later, as I often do, I'm usually like, rats, I had a question and I thought about it half an hour later and now it's too late.
Right.
Feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn and like I can answer that, no problem.
Yeah, and if you're not connected with her or following her, go follow Lauren. Like she posts a lot about financial health and how to be profitable and all kinds of really insightful, really actionable business related things. It's not just do this to 10x your growth this month. It's really actionable things that you can put into play and see results with. So yeah, to go do that. Um,
Awesome.
hey David Holly. Um, what else? We're getting
Brian says
close
he
to
thinks of
time. We've got
all the
about
good
7 more
questions
minutes. Yeah, I
in the
know.
car. I do too. I do too. I was actually like on a webinar the other day that I wasn't leading it. I was participating in it, but she was saying like where do we think of all our best ideas? It's like in the shower or driving home in the car, like it's somewhere where you're doing something but your brain is like free to be kind of thinking about other things. Like I've
Yes.
started I like to listen to podcasts when I do things like wash dishes or whatever, but I've started trying to just not have anything on. Like I'm not listening to anything while I'm doing those really mundane tasks. And then like my brain is just sort of free. And sometimes like ideas will just pop in my head or questions or things I want to find out more about. So yeah, I think there's something to that.
There is. Like I have the best ideas in the shower. And I always think, I don't take long showers. It doesn't take me very long. On the nights I shave my head, it's like 15 minutes tops. Like it doesn't take me very long. So I always think, yeah, I'll remember this when I get out and I can put it in my notes app. And I never do. Like by the time I get out, I forget I even had an idea, let alone what it
Oh,
is.
you need an Alexa. Alexa, record this
I
idea.
do. Yeah, I do. I need to see if Siri will add a note to my notes app. I need to
Yeah,
play
I
with
think
that. I
Siri
think
can
she
do that,
will. Yeah.
but I'm not the tech person, so don't ask me. A long walk on trails. Yes. Leslie, where are you from? Is it like warm enough to walk on the trails? We have trails too, but I'm just like too freezing to go outside and walk right now. Ah. Yeah. I feel like also it just helps so much when you're making business decisions or really any decisions to like just give yourself a little space. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like give yourself a little bit of space before you make that decision. Like whatever that is, because things feel so urgent. Things can feel very urgent. And I find that if I have a decision in front of me and it feels urgent, it can probably wait. And
Mm-hmm.
so I will tend to make myself wait at least 24 hours before I make a decision.
Good
So
idea.
that's, just a little life wisdom on making financial decisions. Just give it 24 hours. It'll probably still be there.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Right.
All right,
Oh,
y'all.
a
There's the
Valentine
link
box.
again.
That sounds very fun.
Siri will do
Very
that. Thank you,
fun.
Brian. That's good to know.
If you
Y'all,
live in the Denver area, by the way, my sister just opened her own floral company and she just got married and she did her own floral bouquet. Like she's amazing. She's so good at as a florist, and she's doing a special Valentine's Day bouquet. And her company is called King Protea Floral Designs. And yeah, so she's got like a special Valentine's Day bouquet that she's doing. So if you need a bouquet and you live in the South Denver area, she's got you covered.
Awesome.
So I don't know if anyone lives in Denver here, but if
Yeah,
you
I
do,
don't know if we do either. Well, Lauren,
had to
this has
give her
been
a
great.
plug because I'm just so proud
Yeah,
of
I
her.
had to
for
give her a
supporting
plug.
business.
Yeah. This was the wedding you just went to, right?
Yes, it was the wedding I just went to. Yeah, she's my only sibling. So yeah, and she's just 3 years younger than me, and she got married and in California, and it was wonderful. It was great. It was a good wedding.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren, thanks for hanging out. I
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
hanging out.
Yeah. This was a
It's been
blast.
fun.
It was good to chat with you again. It was good to chat with you again and not lose my train of thought. So that was really good.
Yes.
And y'all in the audience, I apologize. I couldn't get the chat on screen. I don't know why. Lauren can see the chat. I cannot see the chat. So I don't know what's going on with Restream. I'm fixing to reach out to Restream Help and just make sure they know that they have a glitch in the matrix.
Oh, Leslie says she's from northern Indiana, close to Michigan. It's been upper 40s this week with sunshine. Feels like early spring. Yeah. See, if it's in the upper 40s, I'm still inside. But I will say, like, in some parts of the country, like in Colorado, if it's in the 50s, that's different from being in California and it's in the 50s. Like it feels different. Like I can handle the 50s. The 40s are a little challenging, but 50s, we're on the right track. We're okay. You can go outside at least. So I'm glad it feels like early spring for you, Leslie. I hope that continues.
That's so funny. Upper 40s is like wintertime in Texas. So that's not even close to spring. That's wintertime in Texas.
Yeah.
In Texas, early spring is like 80.
80. Because you're like in Southeast Texas, right?
Almost dead in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Almost dead in the middle. Yeah, I'm about 2 hours south of Dallas.
Oh, gotcha.
On the very
so
eastern.
You still get a good amount of that heat and humidity then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was 74 degrees, 73 degrees all week. And the temperature dropped today. Yeah.
I could live with that. I could live with that. I could live with 80 degrees in the early spring, but
yeah. All right, y'all. I'll be live with Lucas Velmer Friday night at 5:30 Central. It'll be his. I just finished up with him doing one-on-one. It'll be his very first live stream. We'll be talking about music and how it affects, or not it affects, but how it helps you mentally and how it affects your mental health. I guess, affects. Monday night, I have Eric Rogel. He was on the show last year too, and I've posted a few clips from that one where he talks about what it's like to being a man and living as in your king with your wife as your queen by your side, and kind of squashes the whole idea of toxic masculinity, and what it's really like to be a man the way God created us to be. So looking forward to another great conversation with him. He blew some wigs off last time he was on the show. It was awesome. It was really, really, really good stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Lauren, are you going live tomorrow?
I believe I am. We have a pending childcare situation. So I'm hesitant to commit because usually I like to announce ahead of time, and I like to be very consistent, like every Thursday. So I will keep you guys posted. But yeah, I'm supposed to go live tomorrow on what to do if you're in a cash flow crunch. So if I have to reschedule that, I'll tell you guys, but I should be going live tomorrow at 11 Mountain. So that's 12 Central.
12 Central. Yep.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're out of here. Thank y'all for joining us, and we will see y'all on Monday.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris.